at any rate, I was also listening to Joan's conversation. We talk about that a lot on the show about, the billionaires who want to determine our future and have so much power that it's just unconscionable that we can't figure a way forward. And those are the same kinds of billionaires that were funding our Supreme Court and the Supreme Court over and over again with this right-leaning, totalitarian sort of bent they have on deciding what our laws should be according to what those billionaires who fund them. This is not sustainable, folks. It's just, I was in Madison and we had two young people, Katie and Andrew, who joined us, and were just had such profound insight into their experience. I mean, these are two kids who 1,000% they've had since they were in grade school have had to have the specter of gun violence at any moment going to school. That's what they were. Look, think about it. When we were kids, those of us who were Gen X and older, we lived under this idea that there could be a nuclear blast in any minute, and the only thing that could save us were our desks. And how many nuclear blasts did we have? How much did that affect our psyches? Imagine that it's actually happening every time we turn around. There's another outbreak of gun violence. And look, in Chicago, we have communities where every single day lives are lost to gun violence. It's the access to the guns, the common. Every time we have this, it's not time. There's prayers and thoughts. It's someone who is mentally ill. Well, then do something about our mental health. Do something about the mental health of our young people, of the capacity that we have to provide mental health care. Do something about access to guns. That is the common denominator in all of this. I know there's a lot to talk about today. Let me know what's on your mind. We've got a little time here to open up the phone line, 773-763-9278. That's the number to call and join our conversation. And look forward to talking to you in just a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal.
Think Theory Radio.
We enter this world of hyper-reality. In case you didn't know, hyper-reality is the inability of consciousness to distinguish reality from a simulation of reality, especially in technologically advanced societies. The action of hyper-reality is to desire reality in an attempt to achieve that desire to fabricate a false reality that is to be consumed as real.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820.
This is a WCPT moment in labor. In the summer of 1881, 2 decades after the Civil War, 20 African-American laundresses met at a local church in Atlanta to form the Washing Society, a trade organization which looked to create a higher uniform wage and greater work autonomy for laundresses, also known as washerwomen. Through the help of local preachers and door-to-door canvassing, the Washing Society grew from 20 members to 3,000 in only a few weeks. The workers went on strike and faced opposition from their employers as well as the local politicians. The Atlanta City Council proposed a licensing fee for their organizing efforts. The strikers agreed to the fee in exchange for self-regulation. In the end, the City Council rejected the proposed fees and the laundresses prevailed. The impact of the strike led to increased wages for some, but showed that African-American workers, including women, were vital to the New South economy. This has been a WCPT Moment in Labor. We're working for your rights.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Tomorrow on Choose Views, Richard will be talking to Mark Jarzalek, Senior Fellow and Chief Economist at the Center for American Progress, and Matt Derrig, Chair of Ohio Summit County Democratic Party. Choose Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m., right here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now at 773-763-9278. Driving it home with Patti Vasquez now on WCPT 820.
Thank you so much for joining us. Again, it was something else to be in Madison in the wake of the gun violence on Monday, and a listener texted if Sandy Hook didn't change gun laws, nothing will. And that's the thing. This is they hold us hostage based on their some sense of superiority and a better understanding of the Constitution, and their, I don't know, the self-righteousness of gun owners is just astounding to me. Hey, Jim, how are you doing today?
Hi, Patty. I was just thinking of the future of a child born today in America. Are they going to dance to the tune of the Koch brothers and Leonard Leo? Are they condemned to that future?
If we don't get our act together, yeah.
Well, seriously, I mean, think about this. The gun industry is the one that they're calling the tune with the Supreme Court. We know that. They're not. You don't think the Supreme Court goes in and goes, oh, I think we might save a child on the South Side, or we might save a child wherever.
Right.
They're not thinking of those.
No.
They're dancing to the tune of the gun industry.
Yeah.
And the gun industry makes a fortune. My problem is, what is the future of an American born today? I mean, are we going to suffer? I mean, I'm on my way out there, but I'm thinking about kids born today in a hospital that have to face this bleak future of our government's been subverted by these deranged billionaires.
Yep.
And I mean, they're deranged. They're absolutely deranged. I never recall in the 60s or 70s people who were trying to influence government and influence the future of another individual on the planet. But these people are determined to do it. And all I can say is, I just think, real quick, the 20s, the 30s, the 32, there was a priest in Pittsburgh. It was Cox's army, Father Cox, it was what he was. And he had 20,000 job seekers, and he goes to the procession to the White House, to demonstrate, and Hoover asked him in, and he gives him a plan that would almost the blueprint would FDR implemented the next year, funding jobs and so on and so forth. But that's what we need now.
I know.
We need those demonstrations now. We need them desperately. But do people have the stomach for it? I mean, I really mean this. I mean, I was in Washington, D.C. when I was 19. There was 350,000 of us there. It was all grassroots. But, I mean, do they have the stomach for it? Are people so cowed by money that they can't see the forest through the trees?
I know. I don't. Well, it's people. It's a lack of critical thinking. It's believing what is spoon fed to you. I guess whether it's social media or on Fox News. I don't. I really don't. Uh-huh.
Professor McLean from Duke was talking. She said misinformation is their biggest weapon.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh and these people wouldn't exist without misinformation.
Without the culpability of those who are willing to believe it.
Well, no, they're willing to sell it. They're not believing it. They just sell it.
The people. I'm talking about the consumers.
Yeah.
I mean,
the consumers. Yeah. Well, they're duped. They're somehow duped. I don't know how they got duped, but they got duped. But this is a big business. You imagine commanding the internet, commanding everything you hear on the radio, on TV. It costs money to do that. And they're willing to put up the money for it. But there's no way you forget money. You got to be able to discern what your future is going to be, what your children, what your family's future is going to be. You can't go by what the public is bearing. But we're in a terrible mess here. And but I mean, it's time to demonstrate. We have to demonstrate. Whatever we can. That's the only thing I can think of. But I know that this guy, the president-elect, is not going to settle for that. He'll go berserk with there's 350,000 protesters in front of Pennsylvania Avenue in front of his White House. What he would do?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what he would do? But Nixon wouldn't do it. But this guy would do it. And if he gets that Hexen, that crazy guy, the rapist, and for the head of the military, who knows? All bets are off.
I agree.
All bets are off.
Mm-hmm.
But you're outraged. We'll be so outraged by that point that anything goes. Anything goes, Patty. Anyways, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Jim. Jim, I feel like I need to send you meditation tapes or something.
No, don't worry.
Breathing.
I got classical music on all day long.
Okay.
I ignored it as a kid, and now I really enjoy it. But I got to pass the time some way without going mad, without going completely insane. Anyway, thanks, Betty. Take care.
Take care, Jim. Good to hear from you. Just getting a little meditation music under Jim there. John is calling in. Hey, John, how are you doing tonight? What's on your mind?
Hi, Patty.
Hey.
Happy holidays to you, Patty.
Happy holidays.
Let's face it, we have a dysfunctional country. I mean, the government is basically corrupt because corruption is legal now, with Citizens United. You can pay off any politician, get any damn thing you want. So, this notion that, democracy is alive and well in America, you better really take a good hard look at that. And that's really where the root of the problem is, as we all know. But the bigger thing about it is this. Tom Hartman, I don't know if you heard him today, but he went on a rant about what are the Democrats doing? What is the strategy? During President Obama's first inaugural, the speaker, the head of the Senate, Turtle, I forget, McConnell, Senator McConnell. Sorry.
All right. No, go on. Thank you for the chuckle. I do. Thank you.
He got together with all the top Republicans. They had a secret meeting. They said, we're going to strategize. We're going to shoot down everything that President Obama puts up to us.
Yeah.
We're going to obstruct him. We're going to do this. And Tom Hartman says, what the hell is the Democratic Party doing?
Yeah.
Well, where's the big meetings? Where are the big, where's the brain trust? Where are the leaders? And it's like silence. It's like crickets.
Yeah.
But specifically on this issue, I say one of the problems we have in this country, especially with the Democratic Party, is we have got to learn to be consistent. Okay, and one inconsistency that to me is glaring is you can't say you don't want guns in schools killing kids, and you don't want guns on the streets of Chicago, but it's okay to send billions of dollars worth of guns to foreign countries so that they could kill people.
Right.
I completely see that as a complete contradiction. And the only this is where the Democratic Party is stuck in 1940. They only do that because they see making guns and weapons as jobs. And to me, I don't want to have a job where I'm making weapons and guns that kill people.
Right.
I mean, what the hell is that? We should have green jobs working on a 21st century economy. It should be, tech-based, whatever it is. But so this is the point. The Democratic Party has got to come together and figure out what the hell do we stand for.
Yes.
And be consistent. You can't say, and because think about it, other countries like New Zealand. They had that shooting, that mass shooting, and within 3 days, they got rid of all the guns. I'm like, people were bringing in guns by truckloads, and they said, okay, we're going to ban all guns or assault weapons, and that was it. It was over. It was just, but mind you, that's a little country. It's probably the size of Rhode Island. Population-wise, and they could do that. And this is a big country, and it's going to be damn near impossible to do something like that. But the point is, we have got to have a consistent policy. The Democratic Party has got to get their act together. And as far as I'm concerned, they're in disarray right now. And this subject of proliferation of weapons, whether it's domestically or on the foreign market, is absolutely wrong and definitely not right for the Christmas season. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, John. Good to hear from you. Now I feel like you need some meditation. I'll just do the gong for you. How's that? There you go. Deep breath. Great to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patty. Okay.
That was a good deep breath. Take care. Auntie Sherry, are you calling in even though Dwayne and Adam aren't here? Hi.
Listen, sweetheart, I need some, and this is with all the heartfelt and love emotion that I can muster and, just maybe kind of keep under wraps.
Okay.
I need you to talk me off the edge.
Okay, all right.
I called into the family meeting on Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And they kind of laughed me off, and they wouldn't let me finish. They wouldn't let me finish telling them what I was feeling.
Okay.
But it's really unfortunate, but it's true that Democrats fall in love. Mm-hmm. Republicans, they fall in line. I am so tired of this post-mortem, what did we do wrong and what did we do? It's like, and then where is Biden? Where is Kamala? Did these people, and I absolutely love Joan Esposito, but I have to turn her off like the first 10 minutes because she keeps asking, where is Biden? Where is Kamala? Where are the Democrats? I'm thinking, did you ever think that they're probably in meetings trying to mitigate the horror that's going to be unleashed on us when Trump takes when he takes power? Did they ever think that maybe they're trying to push all these judges through? Maybe some pardons, maybe some legislation, because they realize, okay, the people have spoken. They want Trump for the next 4 years. We know we know it's going to be absolutely awful. So, in these last, 2 months or whatever, let's see what we can do.
Yep.
Legislate legally to mitigate some of the damage and the horror. And it's like you guys are harping on the fact because Joe Biden took a day to respond to some stuff that's going up in the Middle East, and we might be in Russia next year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We may have the same type of, plight and oppression, that's going on in Russia. And they're worried about where are they now? It's like they're working their behinds off. Biden has been working his butt off. No, he's not 50. No, he's not 77. He's whatever. But he is a statesman, and he knows what it takes to get through legislation and to get things enacted. I just wish they would just stop this post-mortem BS and just focus on the fact that a lot of us are going to be hurting next year.
Yes. Yeah.
The next 4 years.
Yeah.
And, what we do in Gaza right now is like, okay, we understand because, the incoming, the incoming presidency, they're going to do what they need to do. Or they're going to do what they want to do. We can't, at this point in time, we can't affect that, but we can hopefully mitigate some of the damage and the horror and the suffering that we are going to endure for the next 4 years.
Right. And to your point, Auntie Sherry, the idea that we're looking for what I guess some sort of bombastic speech from Kamala Harris, from Vice President Harris, or I know I'm saying. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. No matter what they do, the media, the mainstream media, is never going to elevate them the exact same way not even close to what they do for Trump. And by the way, a listener texts in, I love this caller. Screw the circular firing squad mechanic.
And one thing, another thing, I want to say, Joan, Kamala Harris is not the president. She can't come out with some agenda while he is the president. She needs to, she's going to support him with, and his role for the last whatever. She can't come up with some policy. I mean, you don't overshadow your boss. And Joan has been dealing with, she's been in the news forever, and I'm sure she's seen a lot of, presidential, elections. You do not overshadow your boss.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You don't, not publicly.
Right. That makes sense too. I mean, again, the President of the United States is still the head of the leader of the Democratic Party, regardless of all.
Exactly.
And what he is accomplishing and what he's as you mentioned, the strategizing, trying to work out the mechanics of the last month and a half of his administration. There's a lot of moving parts, both at the national level and at the international level. So
exactly, and it's like, okay, well, how come? It's just like, wait a minute. This administration is working for the people, not the people working for them. And Patty, I'm sorry, I'm so disheartened. Aww. And it's like,
I wish I could hug you.
It's like, what are you guys doing? You guys are showing them our weakness. Don't speak out against this current administration. At least not, totally in the public. And this post-mortem thing is crazy. And where's Kamala's in 2 months? How many cities did she go to? She might be a little tired, okay? And then again, like I said, and I'm going to go because I know you got other callers. She can't overshadow the guy who brought her in. He is still the president.
Right.
And I know he's working. He's a statesman, and he loves this country, and I'm so glad he did the pardons. I know a lot of people don't think we should do that because it sets a precedent. But what precedents hasn't Trump set?
Yeah.
Give me a break. Anyway, sweetheart, I know you got other callers,
Thank you.
I'm just so disheartened and I'm disappointed in how they are critiquing the current administration when they worked their butts off.
Yep.
They really did. And happy holidays, and thank you for letting me rant.
Yes.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your perspective, Auntie Sherry. Take care. I'll talk to you again soon.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we're going to check in with our friends from Belong, a Fox Valley nonprofit organization dedicated to creating an inclusive space for the LGBTQ community in the Fox Valley area. We're going to talk to Sunni Foard in a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. We'll see mainly cloudy skies tonight, a low of 27 degrees with winds out of the west around 5 miles an hour. Thursday, cloudy with a little bit of light snow and a high temperature of 35 degrees with south winds at 10 to 20. Friday, snow showers likely with a high temperature of 35. And Saturday, we'll see a little bit of light snow with a high temperature of 28. Sunday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and a high temperature around 30. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 31.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter. Stephanie Miller.
I've gotten more mail than I've ever gotten in my entire life. Because a lot of people have a lot to share, and they can't always make it on the phone lines, or they're nervous. And trust me, whatever you're going through, me too. All of us. Wherever you are in your timeline. Drunk, sad, scared, angry. Right there with you. Thank you for people saying they're not listening to anybody but me. I think that's a good plan. Because I'm just like, blah, 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 blah.
Stephanie Miller, weekday mornings 8 to 11 on WCPT 820.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little or no cost to you. Don't gamble with your health. Call Healthcare for All at 800-264-0899. That's 800-264-0899.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Hey, it's Patty here, reminding you that Monaco Brewing Company's progressive beers like Maga Tears IPA, Biden Beer, and the LGBTQ-inspired Love Wins Fruited Sour are now available at Chicagoland locations like Armanetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Beer Shop in Oak Park, McLean Liquors in South Elgin, Beer on Central in Evanston, and My Buddies, a pride-friendly bar on Clark in Chicago. Don't forget to drink and vote responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. We want to welcome Sunni Foard of Belong. Hi, Sunni. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. It's a holiday season. It's a little stressful. And I know that this can be a stressful time for folks who maybe are disconnected from their families in various ways or, are finding places to feel like they're part of a community. So tell us a little bit about Belong Fox Valley.
So Belong Fox Valley, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization working in Fox Valley. And so we put on programs for people of all ages in the community. So we have our teen drop-in, so that's for LGBTQ teenagers to come and just hang out and build some community. We host yearly Pride events during Pride Month. We march in Pride parades. We host a yearly teen queer prom for teens to go and have a prom experience in a safe and supportive environment. And we have a lot of programs for adults as well. So we have meetup groups, we have Cheers Queers, and we have Rainbow Roundup. Cheers Queers is for an older audience. They meet at bars and breweries, and Rainbow Roundup is at coffee shops and such. It's a lot of just bringing people together in the community as much as we can.
And tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
So I'm from Geneva, and I still live in Geneva, and I've been working with Belong since we were created back in 2022. I'm a board member. Member of the LGBTQ community. That's how I got involved, and it's been great working with the community and everything and making these things happen.
How did you, were these folks in the community that were was there a call put out? What was the genesis of Belong Fox Valley?
So it started as just a group of people that wanted to put on these events. I think one of the first big ones was back in 2022, was the first Teen Queer Prom. That was a big hit. And then a board was put together. I was invited to join the board because of my involvement in actually my high school's GSA, and then working with the city council on an LGBTQ project. And back in 2022, we filed for 501c3 status, and we got it. We've just been growing ever since.
Are you getting a sense from folks in the light of recent events, when it comes to elections and things like that, seeking more communities and groups like yours? Are you getting more outreach from folks?
Absolutely. Yeah. Right after the election, we had actually a meetup for people just to have that space, that support from the community, just to talk and feel all those feelings. And since the election, we've had more people reach out to us, looking to go to our groups, to join the teen drop-in. People are really just looking for that sense of safety and other people to connect with and feel supported by.
Yeah. I think it's remarkable what you guys are doing. Tell folks what the Fox Valley area encompasses. What communities are you guys serving?
So we primarily host events in Batavia, St. Charles, and Geneva, but we also do things in Elgin, South Elgin, and Aurora. But anybody from anywhere is totally welcome to come to our events. Always welcome. We love having people from as many places as we can.
Well, there's so many great venues out that way, too, because, like the downtown St. Charles area. Elgin was named one of the best suburbs in the country. Really vibrant communities, aren't they?
Absolutely. And, a lot of those places and queer safe spaces we've actually built connections with. So we have recurring events there. We have certain businesses who've agreed to host us for multiple months. It's been great making, all these connections with local businesses.
And how can folks support the work that you do?
So the biggest way is monetary donations. They can donate through our website, belongfoxvalley.org, or in all of our social medias on Instagram and Facebook. We have a link in our bio to donate. There's also sometimes we have opportunities to volunteer when we have some of those teen-focused events. And then during Pride Month, we always need people to come volunteer. But, of course, the biggest way is just to get involved, come out to our groups, come out to our meetups, support our events. That's the biggest way people can get involved.
And I would imagine for folks who maybe, are new to the communities, right? There are folks at different stages of their lives. This isn't just for young people. This is for anybody from a wide variety of backgrounds, right?
Absolutely. We have people who come out later in life and they've never had, people in the queer community in their lives, and they just show up to our events and they just feel like they've found their people. We have people who are, little kids all the way up to, people middle-aged, elderly. Everybody is welcome.
So your next event is coming up in January, right? Cheers Queers? That's going to be on the Monday, January. So that's right. That's a great way to get out there, because a lot of times January can be a little bit slow for getting back out, right? You've gotten through the holidays, but what a wonderful way to kind of maybe even decompress after having spent time with relatives and maybe in spaces that aren't quite as welcoming, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the biggest times in the year when it's really great for people to get out there and join us after all that holiday stress.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one. And then when's the prom?
Our prom date has not been announced, but it has been set. So stay tuned.
Oh, excellent. And that's for anybody of any age that wants to join with, Belong Fox Valley. You can go to belongfoxvalley.org for more information about joining them, about joining their community, going to some of the events, supporting them, and making it possible for folks to find. We talked earlier about being authentic, and for a lot of people, it's not easy to do. So finding people who are, just happy to have you join, right? It's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we really were just trying to make these connections, trying to make, all this. There's a lot going on in today's age, and if we're, going to support the community, it's going to be through things and events like this. Just building all these relationships, feeling like you're not alone, feeling like you're heard and you're valid and you're accepted. That's really what we're trying to do with these spaces.
And I love that you also provide on your website resources for all different kinds of, organizations and care facilities, whether it's mental health, just for physical health, religious services and things like that. What a great resource for that. Thank you to everyone there that providing these resources and information.
Absolutely. It can be really hard to find some of these good resources. And, the LGBTQ community, there's a lot of unique challenges there. And that means there's also a lot of unique resources out there that can specifically, support that community. And it's really hard to find those resources sometimes. So that's why we have that resources page there for people to find that information as easily as we can get out there.
Well, folks, I encourage you again to follow Belong Fox Valley. You can find all of their social medias on their website. They're on Instagram and Facebook. They have a discussion group on Facebook if you want to find them and get a feel for perhaps an organization you want to be a part of, and certainly to support, again, belongfoxvalley.org. Are you finished now? Are you still in school?
I'm a college student, yes.
Yes, and you're studying. I just read on your About page that you are in the disability and rehabilitation field as a parent of a child with significant physical and intellectual challenges. I want to thank you. What inspired you to pursue this field?
I'm really just passionate about helping people with all different abilities. I joined a club my freshman year working with adults with special needs, and I just loved it. I knew that was a population I really wanted to serve.
Well, we need more like you in all the spaces, Sunni. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to talking to you again. Let us know about the prom date, and we'd love to let folks know and have another conversation with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Have a great holiday season. My best to everybody at Belong, Fox Valley. Take care.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Let's take a break here. We'll continue the conversation when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. We're so thrilled that you're here.
Adopt, don't shop. This is Dr. Craig from Mark Drugs. We're proud to support WCPT's Pet of the Month, benefiting the Anti-Cruelty Society. Adopt, don't shop is the movement that promotes animal rescue over pet stores. Illinois has wisely outlawed pet stores, but many of those operators merely moved over the border to Indiana or Wisconsin. Their dogs largely come from inhumane puppy mills and live shorter lives with a myriad of health problems caused by overbreeding. I have several canine patients that are on an extensive regimen of medicines simply to extend their lives. I believe every dog deserves a loving home, proper nutrition, and a chance at a long, healthy life. In my experience, rescued mixed breed dogs are the healthiest of all. So stop by the Anti-Cruelty Society location in the city or log on to their website to find your potential next family member. Or check out markdrugs.com to see this month's Pet of the Month. Remember, you have a choice when it comes to your health care, and a great choice is Mark Drugs in Deerfield and Roselle. Get better health and care for you and your pets.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
We're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.
How are you folks doing tonight? I was just catching up on some of the stories at Heartland Signal. We've been talking about this for the last couple of years in state after state, in red states, that is. They've been lowering the age for children to go to work because this is what's so insane about all these people that are salivating about mass deportations when we already have a worker shortage in places like Iowa we know Wisconsin, Florida, they're all pushing to lower the age and the number of hours that children can work. And the thing is that there's a Sioux City pork processing contractor employed 11 children performing dangerous overnight work using equipment at its pork processing plant. What are we doing? Children under 18 are federally prohibited from performing dangerous jobs in the meat and poultry processing plants. We know last year there was a teenage boy in Wisconsin who was killed at a sawmill. He'd been, he was also like an athlete. He would go to school. He would go to practice. He'd try to get as much work done, and then he would get up early and go to the sawmill before school, sometimes after school. I mean, what are we doing to, again, the people who are all about the children, the babies, all these libs of TikTok and these moms for liberty are so full of it. They are not paying any attention to the fact that we are fundamentally hurting children just for the sake of saving money on your bacon. Ugh, so gross. It's incredibly gross. At any rate, if you want to be as angry as I am, go to heartlandsignal.com. Well, it's about being informed. Whether or not you get angry is entirely a choice. I can relax. Look, we can put the meditation music back on, and let's see if that helps. I find that the meditation music actually makes me more anxious because, making myself relax is not ever. It's not productive for me. It's like, because all I can think is, I gotta relax now. Relax now. Now relax. Now relax now. Are you relaxed? Are you relaxed? Are you feeling relaxed? No, I'm not feeling relaxed because we have a lot of folks that would rather, at the pain of so many people, elect a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, someone who now says, well, I can't actually lower grocery prices. I mean, and they don't care. Like did they really believe that he was going to lower the grocery prices? Maybe they really believed it. And now that he said that he probably can't, do they care? No, they don't. They're not. What the frickin' frack? Okay. At any rate, you can go to heartlandsignal.com to catch all the great news stories. You can follow them on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Heartland Signal. That's all one word, at Heartland Signal. And again, go to the Heartland Signal website. If you start losing the signal when it gets dark out, you can also listen to this show and all of our shows by clicking on the host's little photos right there on the page, as well as finding all of our podcasts, because I don't have just one. I have two. I have Driving Driving It Home, the full episodes and the featured interviews. You can subscribe to one or both. The podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Amazon. Again, just search for Driving It Home with me, Patti Vasquez. You're going to put with me in the search. You know what I mean. You can also get the links on the Driving It Home show page by visiting heartlandsignal.com and just put your little cursor over my face and click on it. And that you can also find and share some of the recent interviews and see what guests we have coming up for the week. Coming up today, we actually added at the last minute, I added Tom Appel because we realized he does last Wednesdays with us. And next Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the... No, wait. Either one. They're both holidays. What's technically then... Isn't the 31st the last... Either way, I wasn't going to be here. I'm not going to be here on Christmas Day. And then the other one would be... No, it's right. He is right. Next week is the last. Is that right? Yeah, the last Wednesday. I can't do math right now. So since it's Christmas and I won't be here, I thought I would invite him to come in today. So with that, as excited as I am to have Tom in studio, I'm also excited that we will be giving away not one, not two, not three, but 4 prizes today because I didn't do any yesterday, did not bring the live reads with me. So I am going to give away. First, let's start with Fry the Coop. Lady B, hold up the number caller that you would like to, for the number caller. Caller number 5, folks. Caller number 5 for Fry the Coop, the destination for hot chicken in Chicagoland, giving a Southern original Midwest touch whether you want heat or not. I don't like heat anymore. I used to love it. Someone broke me. Featuring chicken sandwiches, tenders, chicken and waffles, and now nuggets, all delivering happiness in each crunchy bite. Proudly not using seed oils, but frying all of their menu items in 100% beef tallow. Stop by Fry the Coop at one of its many locations from Oak Lawn, Chicago, Elmhurst to Darien, Prospect Heights, Tinley Park, and Bolingbrook. You can have no heat, mild, medium, hot, or crazy insanity. And that sounds amazing for people who like it. I am now a mild. I'm a mild. I mean, I know not personality-wise, but look at the phone lines lighting up for their chance to win. So I do have to let you know, we are celebrating Fry the Coop, giving out $25 gift cards as our little gift to you. So again, we have one this hour we're giving away right now. We'll have another one to give away in the next hour because I fell down on the job yesterday and didn't bring these with me. Contests running on WCPT 820 are open to listeners 18 or older and residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. 1 entry per person, 1 winner per household. Void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days. Complete rules are available on our website at WCPT820.com, and you can click on the contest tab to get more information. And after we give this away, I will give you a trivia question for our other prize we're giving away this hour. I kind of like just pile it all on top of Lady B at the last minute. So once she gets the winner, we'll clear the lines and give away our next prize as well. And I will have another $25 gift card for Fry the Coop, as well as tickets to see the Kathy Griffin New Year's Eve show at the Chicago Theater. So there you go. Those are the things we're doing right now. As soon as we get the winner, I will clear that. I will need to check the text line. Let's see. Folks responding still to Auntie Sherry, that there's a lot of clout and money in blaming Democrats. Well, again, to Auntie Sherry's point, yes. I mean, not just the post-mortem, what did we do wrong, what could we, but we did we were doing it the whole time. I mean, the mainstream media, you know what, I'm not going back there. We're not going, you know what, forward motion, everybody. I mean, it's important to understand and learn from whatever happened, but now we have the realities of what's ahead of us. A lot of folks who are concerned about what happens if they change the funding for Medicare and Medicaid, which Dr. Oz, if he does become the head of the CMS, will surely be working towards that. Someone sent me a picture of a billboard that was funded, I guess, towards the end of the campaign, and it was about how Musk and Trump want your Social Security here. What is this one? It was the DNC and wealthy progressives should have been doing this big time on our busiest expressways. It says Trump and Musk are coming for your Social Security. I guess Mad Dog Pack had been funding some of those billboards, but we needed more of. We can all talk about what we could have done and what was necessary. What was necessary was for the 15 million people who had voted in the previous election in 2020 to show up. I don't know how you get those folks off the couch. And the idea that, I mean, just going over it and over it, there was more energy behind voting for someone who will inflict a lot of pain on a lot of people, both in our country and globally, there was more energy behind that. I don't have to tell you. There was more energy behind that. There are people that that's the way their brains work. They see somebody as an authority figure telling them who needs to hurt, whose fault things are, and that appeals to them. And they're just now we have to grapple with the reality of what lies ahead. I know we've talked to folks like Renato Mariotti. We've talked to a lot of organizations. One of the reasons we talk to people who are doing the grassroot. I can't. I have these retainers in. It's like my last few days of the Invisalign, and they're much thicker this week, and so it's been harder for me to talk. So I apologize. But the grassroots efforts, the people who are boots on the ground when it comes to helping people in our communities who need it the most, find those organizations. If you feel if you feel like that's something you're ready for, or again, you get to heal in any way that you see fit. Be careful, be mindful of how you're treating your emotional well-being, your physical well-being. Try to get out and walk. Take care of yourself, your loved ones. Listen to music like Jim was talking about. If you need to dip in and dip out of these conversations, that's understandable too. Not that I need to give you permission. I'm sure a lot of people are already doing that. Yesterday, somebody asked about, they wanted to go back and listen to our shows from the DNC. Lady B, are all of our older podcasts, do you know if those are still available on SoundCloud? So all of our old shows are still available. There's Andy. All of our older shows are still available on SoundCloud. So you can look for our shows there. And I'm sure the DNC, it should be pretty easy to search for them on the SoundCloud page. The spending bill. The nitwit only wants to blame Democrats just as he did with the immigration bill. Yeah, I can't. Let's take a break here. We're going to talk cars for a little bit. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. And I do have some tickets to give away. I'm going to give away 2 pairs of tickets to Kathy Griffin in the next hour. So let's take a break here and continue our conversation in just a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. Looking forward to hanging out with you some more.
Make this season even brighter by lighting up every drive with the unrivaled performance of a new Porsche from the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Stop in today to test drive the latest models, including a new 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease a new 2025 Macan Electric for $999 a month for 39 months. Visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. 8,609 due at signing. Excludes tax, title, license, and dock fee. No security deposit required. Expires 1/2/25.
Share all the holiday joy this season with the convenient shipping and the enhanced network of the United States Postal Service. Visit USPS.com/holidayride.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Congress is facing a Friday deadline to extend the government's funding. Last night, Republican and Democratic leaders appeared to strike a deal. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Bipartisan cooperation must lead the way. We can't have last-minute delays or grandstanding, or else the American people won't get the funding they deserve, or else we could risk a shutdown.
President-elect Trump's now rejected it, telling House Speaker Mike Johnson to essentially renegotiate. Meantime, Ed Donahue reports a date has been set for a hearing for one of Trump's cabinet nominees.
Senate Armed Services Committee Chair Roger Wicker says Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth will face questioning on January 14th. The former Fox News host and veteran has been visiting Senate offices to get support from Republicans.
I'm trying to understand him.
Hegseth has told senators he wouldn't drink while Defense Secretary and pushed back on reports of misbehavior. Utah Republican Senator John Curtis says neutral may not be the best to describe his view of Hegseth right now, maybe open-minded.
I want the president to be very, very successful in all his endeavors, and this is among the highest for me of the responsibilities of the president to get this right.
On social media, President-elect Trump has said Hegseth is a winner. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The Federal Reserve's cut its benchmark interest rate by a quarter point. Chair Jerome Powell.
With today's action, we have lowered our policy rate by a full percentage point from its peak, and our policy stance is now significantly less restrictive. We can therefore be more cautious as we consider further adjustments to our policy rate.
Fed policymakers project just 2 quarter-point cuts next year, and Powell says the slower pace reflects
both the higher inflation readings we've had this year and the expectation inflation will be higher.
Stocks plunged on the news. The Dow dropped more than 1,100 points, or 2.6%, while the S&P shed 2.9% and the Nasdaq 3.6%. This is AP News. Global leaders warn nuclear threats are growing, with weapons spending surging to more than $91 billion last year. That's prompted a spike in sales of private bomb shelters. Norman Hall has the story.
The bunkers range in size from small metal boxes with crawl spaces to extravagant underground mansions. In the northeast Texas town of Sulphur Springs, Ron Hubbard operates Atlas Survival Shelters.
Most people surveyed believe that there will be a World War III one day, and it will be very catastrophic.
Hubbard says COVID lockdowns, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war have driven sales. Critics say they create the outdated perception that nuclear war is survivable. Massachusetts Congressman Jim McGovern.
Underground bunkers, if we ever get to a point where there's all-out nuclear war, aren't going to protect people.
McGovern says rather than building bunkers, there should be an effort to freeze nuclear weapons production and to engage with countries that have them. I'm Norman Hall.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. We'll see mainly cloudy skies tonight, a low of 27 degrees with winds out of the west around 5 miles an hour. Thursday, cloudy with a little bit of light snow and a high temperature of 35 degrees with south winds at 10 to 20. Friday, snow showers likely with a high temperature of 35. And Saturday, we'll see a little bit of light snow with a high temperature of 28. Sunday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and a high temperature around 30. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 31.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us as we drive it home. Want to say hello to our friends listening in the evening on KTNF AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota. We're here broadcasting from WCPT 820 Heartland Signal out of Chicago. But of course, you can hear us anywhere in the world on apps like TuneIn. You can watch the live stream on Facebook, now on YouTube. So just find WCPT or Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez. And every last Wednesday of the month, we welcome car guy Tom Appel in studio, but he pointed out today that next Wednesday is Christmas, and no, I don't think I've ever worked actually on Christmas Day for a radio. I don't think I've ever done that. Yeah, I did a comedy show last Christmas Eve at a Jewish funeral home with a Chinese buffet, Chinese food buffet.
I think that counts.
It was fantastic. I have worked like in the service industry when I used to be a waitress and a bartender. I would work on Christmas Eve now and then. Thanksgiving once. I used to work at the Grizzly Lodge on Lincoln Avenue. My parents came and had Thanksgiving dinner with me there.
Oh.
Because we were hosting Thanksgiving for people in the community. Have you ever worked on a significant holiday?
I did, because I worked at a service station when I was a younger man, when I was in high school and in college, and we never closed. But we would close early. In those days, the franchisee still had some flexibility. Mm-hmm. That's all gone. Everything's 24/7 now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Different world then.
Have you ever gone to a Black Friday after Thanksgiving?
No.
Yeah, I've gone to. We went once on a lark after my show because I used to be on until 2 a.m, which then like Kohl's or whatever was open. So I took Paul Farvar, Elliot Serrano, I can't remember, Adam Seltzer. We all just kind of made it like since we were up anyway, kind of a thing, and it was empty. And then one time my mom wanted something, and I stood in line with her, and I got like a Caddyshack DVD for $1. That's all. It's not a thing, but it seems to be dying down. I don't know if it's more because of digital shopping.
Yeah.
I don't think people aren't getting squashed in like store doors, and that was horrible. That's just the stupidest thing, wasn't it?
It was terrible. The dumbest thing I ever did on Black Friday, though it proved to be a monumental event in my family history, was my daughter was learning to drive, and she had her learner's permit, and we took my parents' Buick, so big car, to go drive around Woodfield Mall on Black Friday. So,
oh God,
she still hates me for it, but she's probably a better driver for it.
You know, I remember speaking of learning how to drive. I remember I had a driving, and like you had. I think you had to pass 3 in-car, tests at Lane Tech. So, so they had an instructor in the car, and I can't remember the guy who failed me. I think it was Coach Aarons failed me, but Pastos was really cool to me. But because my mom had learned how to drive. I had also learned how to drive a stick shift, and I accidentally used at one point both feet, like one foot for the gas and one foot for the brake, and he failed me for that. But I know it's fun. But apparently, he also had a history of failing a lot of girls. Neither here nor there. But one of them made me drive down. Gosh, no, I can't think of the street where oh my God, my brain just Caldwell. So where Caldwell becomes Peterson, right? So there's the Eden Expressway, and there's cars are getting over to the right and merging or more coming off the highway so fast, right? Because they come off the highway there, and then they're merging left, but some people have to merge right. So there's a lot going on there, and that was I just remember being like, I am not ready for this, but I was fine. I did it. I get nervous about my son driving. He's still at 21, still is not driven, and now I'm just like, I'm an excellent driver, Tom.
I believe you.
I am. I do have to be careful about being aggressive. Do you have to check yourself sometimes? Especially because you're borrowing a car, you have to be careful.
Yes, I'm always borrowing cars, and yesterday I found myself on 90. I had to pick up my wife from the airport, and I was driving something that was far sportier than anything I'd driven for a while, and I found myself doing 90 on 90. I was like, oh, got to check this.
Ooh, that must have felt kind of cool, though.
The speed just accumulated.
Sure, that's how it works.
It is.
What were you driving?
It is the 2025 Mini Countryman, which is the mini crossover, JCW, which is the high performance version of that. So 312 horsepower, all-wheel drive. Very, very great handling. It's fun to drive.
A little zippy.
It is zippy, yeah. A little bouncy on the highway. But that's engagement.
But the minis have that, though. They're all kind of a little bit bouncy, aren't they?
That's kind of the family characteristic of those vehicles.
The vibe. It's a little rattly too. The lower end, like the more base models, aren't they a little?
I'm not picking up on squeaks and rattles. It feels pretty tightly screwed together, but there is road noise.
Road noise, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm hearing. I've driven my friends' cars before. You have, of course, the Car Stuff podcast, and you are, there's a lot of intersection, I guess they would say, of politics and talking about cars. Unavoidable.
Yeah.
Has it been at this rate at any time that you've, like in the last few years, of having this impact on cars?
Only recently, as we've been discussing Elon Musk. And it has to be discussed. We can't ignore it. And it is so confusing because I don't understand why the board of Tesla keeps this guy engaged as CEO when much of what he's doing seems to be counterproductive. And he has said that the things that he wants Trump to do as president, the tariffs and whatnot,
so crazy you're saying
he wants to happen because they will be more damaging to his competition than to his own company. And I'm like, but it's still damaging to your company.
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know why the board supports these activities. And ultimately...
because he's crazy wealthy.
I guess he doesn't matter to him anymore.
No.
It doesn't matter if he gets kicked off, I guess. And whatever is going to happen is probably, no matter what, good for Tesla or not, bad for the adoption of EVs. And the adoption of EVs is an absolute good, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. So the big news, as far as, products coming into the United States. I was just talking to somebody the other day. They were saying that if they're thinking about buying a car, they want to hurry up because of these looming tariffs that Trump has talked about.
My daughter wants to buy a car and wants to know if she needs to buy one in the next week.
And?
Because in my opinion, I'm 90% sure that what Trump is saying about tariffs on Canada and Mexico is bluster.
Okay.
Because the consequences are dire. So dire, someone must have talked to him about it already, because it will screw things up. And it'll screw everything up. But from an automotive perspective, we get 4 million cars a year out of Mexico and another 2 million out of Canada.
So 6 million cars would be impacted.
6 million cars will be impacted and probably rendered unsellable with those tariffs on them. There isn't margin in a vehicle sale. Everyone thinks of the auto industry as being huge and rich, but in fact, the margins on cars are very, very low. Between 3 and 5% typically. They can't absorb 25%, and consumers won't pay 25% over sticker for cars. So the market would be left in turmoil.
I would imagine. I'm just trying to think. When you were saying that the margins are so narrow. So are there, lobbyists for the car industry? Is there like a massive push? Because I don't know which way because they clearly the wealthiest, for the most part, wanted a Trump presidency, and a lot of what he's talked about would harm them, as you mentioned with Elon Musk. So it does stand to reason that it might just be bluster.
Hopefully, yes. It does stand to reason, because it gets very weird. So our number one trading partners, Canada and Mexico, whom we have wonderful trade relationships with, and a lot of labor is based on this too, and those would be entirely sidelined. And would we make up the difference? And first of all, the industry can't make up the difference. If we lose $6 million of vehicle availability, or 6 million units, we can't make that up from other markets. But there would be more cars imported from Japan. That doesn't help us in any way, and possibly more from Western Europe. And God forbid, some from China. We don't want that.
Right.
So it's baffling. There's no good that comes of this.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's so many different aspects of all as you mentioned, the sort of language and the promises made and the solutions that have been offered. Again, so you don't think people should rush to get a car?
I don't think so. Part of the thing is, like if you want an electric vehicle, there's going to be a rush to buy those now, and maybe you want to get in on that because Trump wants to discontinue the federal tax credit for buying a new car, and will probably wipe out the lease workaround as part of that as well. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, electric vehicles are going to just go up in price by about $7,500, and I don't think that's avoidable. So if you were thinking about an EV, this might be a good time to do it. There's a lot of them out there in the supply, and I don't think that manufacturers who are going to have a hard time selling them after the fact are going to do much to mark them up. I think this might be a golden moment
for EVs.
So
what are some of your favorite EVs for folks to consider?
Wow, I just drove a great one. This isn't the car for the people, but it was wonderful. A BMW i5, and what's it called? The Drive 40, I think it's BMW naming structures are absurd. But this is the mid-size sedan, but it's electric. And this is more or less the most affordable version of it. It comes in about $75,000, which a lot for a mid-size sedan, but not a lot for a BMW, and not a lot for a luxury mid-size sedan. A joy to drive. Not especially powerful, but wonderfully balanced, rides well, handles well, it's quiet, beautiful interior. Everything about this car is cool. Range is about 270 miles stated, but I was doing way better than the estimates.
Okay, excellent. So what about for the people, a car for the people?
Interestingly, Toyota just announced a $6,000 price reduction on their BZ4X.
What is a BZ4X?
It is the only electric car that Toyota sells in the U.S., and it's a compact car. It's about the size of a Civic, something like that, or a Corolla. But it's their electric vehicle, and they haven't been doing that much to market it. It's pretty expensive. It doesn't qualify for the tax credit, unfortunately. But if you want to buy one now, and if you want to apply the lease workaround, and they're taking $6,000 off of the price, this is a very interesting vehicle all of a sudden. The only drawback is range. Range is about 230 miles.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. Good
but
to know.
Nice vehicle.
Excellent. We're hanging out with Tom Appel, Car Guy Tom, on the social medias. His podcast, the Car Stuff Podcast, is out coming up.
Every Tuesday morning.
Every Tuesday. So yesterday it came out, so we can catch up on their conversation there. I do have another pair of tickets to give away for Kathy Griffin. We're going to give away 2 pairs this hour. Kathy Griffin, who is a passionate advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community, for women and the disenfranchised groups, is also a cancer survivor herself. The hilarious, fiery redhead Kathy Griffin is bringing her My Life on the PTSD list to the Chicago Theater on December 31st. Celebrate your New Year's Eve with belly laughs, or all kinds of laughs. They don't have to be from the belly. That seems like we're being constrictive. We don't want to. You can laugh from wherever you want. A limited number of great seats have opened up, starting at $43.50. Hurry up and grab your tickets now. You can purchase tickets at Ticketmaster.com. But I have 1 pair of tickets to give away right this very moment. Tell me the name of the reality series that Kathy Griffin had that ran from 2005 to 2010, and the tickets will be yours. 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. And stay tuned. We have another pair to give away, as well as another $25 gift card to Fry the Coop. We're going to continue our conversation with Tom Appel. If you have any questions or you want to join the conversation, we would love to hear from you. 773-763-9278. That's the number to call, or you can text us. Some people don't like to call, Tom. They just, I get nervous when I call on radio shows.
No,
just you can text.
No one sends paper mail anymore either.
That's a shame.
I never got a fan letter, not one.
Oh no! So you can send fan letters to Tom. More in a moment on the Heartland Signal and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis St. Paul. Tuning in here at WCPT 820.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
You want to live a happier life? The key I discovered after spending an entire season of my podcast, Chasing Life, dedicated to answering this question, is quality relationships. That is, quote, because we all need a sense of connection to someone as we go through life. That's according to Dr. Robert Waldinger. He's director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development. The people who are connected to other people live longer, and they stay physically healthier than people who are more isolated. The surprise in all this was not necessarily that people were happier, but that they actually lived longer. And a lot of this has to do with stress and stress relief, he said. Stress and the fight or flight response that comes with it, that's normal. But having a few close family members or friends that can help you get back down to baseline, that seems to be what made all the difference. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.
We are thrilled that you are joining us as Tom Appel, Car Guy Tom, continue our conversation here on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal and KTNF AM 950. We are giving away a pair of tickets to see Kathy Griffin on New Year's Eve at the Chicago Theater. And my question was, what was the name of Kathy Griffin's reality series? I know I made it a somewhat easy one for fans of Kathy Griffin, but I thought at least you make sure you like her and are, know about her and want to go see her. Gregory, what's the answer out of Oak Park, my friend?
My Life on the D-List.
That's right. Did you watch My Life on the D-List?
Somewhat. I knew her when she was a kid. She grew up she grew up a couple of blocks away. She was went to school with my ex.
Oh wow!
What do you think of it? Yeah.
Oh wow! I forgot that she grew up in Oak Park. That's right. So she's coming home for the holidays, presumably. That's great.
Yeah, she was. It's okay. I know when she was younger, she was kind of a spark plug. You know, a lot of kids are.
Yeah. Well, what's in the water in Oak Park? You guys got a lot of talented folks coming out of Oak Park, like Bob Newhart, Judy, especially comedians. What is that?
Yeah, Judy was right. She was right in the neighborhood too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't rub off on me. So what can I say?
Well, I'm not saying everybody has to be. Thank you.
No, I just love your personality. I don't agree with a lot of your politics, but I listen to you all the time just because you're just so easy to listen to. I want to give you a compliment.
Well, I appreciate that, Gregory, and I'm so glad you're going to the show. Again, it's going to be on New Year's Eve at the Chicago Theater. Hang on the line, and Lady B will get your information. And enjoy I want to hear about the show afterwards. If you would be so kind as to call me after.
I want to tell you, there's a Bill's Automotive. This guy, Bill, he runs a shop, automotive shop in Forest Park. He adores you.
Oh, hey, Bill in Forest Park. Hey, Bill in Forest Park. I have a show coming up in Forest Park at Bab's Comedy Club in January. I'll make sure I let people know about that. But I think it's like a Friday. You know what? I know it. It's Saturday, January 11th. I will be at Bab's Comedy Club in Forest Park. So thank you for reminding me, Gregory. That really helped. And thank you for telling me about Bill.
You've got your fans. They're just a fabulous personality. God bless you.
Thank you, Gregory. Well, enjoy the show, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Well, now, if Judy's got the answer, I think that Judy, are you going? I guess you're going to see. You also have the answer. What's the answer, Judy, in Niles?
My life on the D list.
All right, go see Kathy Griffin, will you? Hang on the line.
I will, and I love your politics, Patty. So.
Well, I think, and look, I didn't even ask, if it was because I'm not far left enough or if I'm too far left. But I just assume I'm not used to. I am very used to rubbing people the wrong way, which is fine. But he likes it, so right.
Join the club.
Excellent. Well, Judy, I've got Lady B will take your information, and I'm so glad you're going to see Kathy Griffin. We have more tickets to give away the rest of the week. Of course, stand by. So we got those are our 2 pairs of tickets. I do have another Fry the Coop in a little bit. We'll do that in the next half hour. It's so funny because I forgot that Kathy Griffin was from the Chicagoland area.
I did too.
Yeah, we never crossed paths as comics, and it's funny. I was a road comic in the '90s, meaning I really drove all over. Like my big routes were like North Dakota, South Dakota. The glamorous life through Nebraska. It's just, everyone should go to Kearney, Nebraska. I don't think you've lived until you've gone to Omaha or Minot or Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Up until this moment, I didn't know how to pronounce Minot. I've seen it.
Minot? Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought it was Minot or something.
No, I mean, it might be, but everyone there says Minot when I was there. And there's an Air Force base there, and I don't know if this is still true, but there was they had a really charming sort of downtown area. There was one place where it was like just soups. Right, and so you could get you get a flight of beers, you get a flight of soups.
That's interesting.
It was fantastic. I don't know. That was years. I was in the '90s, but there were also a lot of bridal shops, presumably because a lot of the women would like to marry an Air Force, marry someone from the Air Force and get out of Minot. It was, it gets very cold. It's Minot.
If I was going to guess, I would assume Minot's population is down in the last decade. If I was going to guess.
It might be. But I was thinking about this. I learned something yesterday. Oh. So these two things kind of go together. One of the worst cars I ever rented it was the 90s, so it was a mid-90s Jeep Cherokee. And it was the plains of Nebraska. When the wind picks up, you do not want to be in a car that might be just lift off.
Yeah, it's so slab-sided.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was not great. But what I learned yesterday, do you know about Jeeps and Duckies? That there's this thing about leaving?
Yeah.
What is this?
I think it's artificial. I think that Jeep is behind making this happen, but people are leaving rubber ducks on other people's Jeeps. So if you own a Jeep, it's part of the whole family of Jeep people. There being some big community. I think it's artificial. I think it's a little AstroTurf.
I was in Madison, at a restaurant, off the lake. How? So is Jeep tracking their cars and then sending someone out to drop a duck on them?
I think so. And if there's any social media related to it, they will immediately amplify it.
Yeah.
So the duck thing is weird. This goes way back. If you owned a CJ5 or a CJ7 in the 70s or 80s, the thing was you flashed your high beams at other people. Like, hey, we're all crazy enough to own these incredibly, industrial, crude, delightful Jeeps. And Saab owners used to do that.
Flash their high beams?
Yeah. So that was a weird group, Saab owners. I was one, by the way.
You have tripped a wire for me, which is like this weird thing that happened. I can't remember if it was the 80s or 90s. It was clearly after I started driving, but there was this thing where if you saw someone with their headlights out, right, you flash your lights,
right,
and let them know that, hey, your headlights are out. And then there was like this thing about, don't do that. You remember this urban myth? Because it was like gang members who were like trying to lure.
I never heard that.
It was like an initiation thing that if you did it, then you were the next target. Like, that was terrifying. Like, that was like, why did we, who spread that one? Which never.
Because we used to do it too, to warn people that there was a speed trap.
Oh, really?
And we used to worry a lot more about speed traps than we do now, and maybe that's just congestion. I don't know.
Sure.
But that was a thing. If you had passed a cop on the side of the road, you would flash your high beams to let people know, guy back there wants to write you a ticket.
I feel like semi drivers would do that. Truck drivers would, they would let people know, like, hey, watch out, because they obviously on the radio with each other, as we learned from Smokey and the Bandit. Was it Smokey and the Bandit? Which was the one with the Coors beers that they were trying to get across state lines? Was it Smokey?
That was Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah.
It was such a weird story. It's so funny that I saw that movie and had no idea what was. I mean, you couldn't take Coors across state lines, or Jackie Gleason was
It almost didn't
obsessed.
matter. There was a black Trans Am in Sally Fields. I'd watch the whole thing.
That's true. She was great. She is great. I love Sally Fields. But yes. So okay, what other reasons do people flash lights? So one is your lights are out. There's a speed trap coming up. Aren't we cool Saab owners?
Right.
And what was the other owners?
Well, Jeep owners used to do it. Yeah. Also, you've got your high beams on. Turn them off.
Yeah, for the love of God. That was one
That's
of
the other reason.
Well, and do you remember some of the videos you saw in high school for driver's ed? Yeah. So one of them was like this family that was driving, and they had their high beams on, and they didn't realize it, and all the oncoming drivers kept flashing their high beams at them, and then they like ended up in a crash. So I can't remember if the purpose of the video is like, don't flash your high beams or don't leave your high beams on, and if you do, don't be stupid and realize that people are telling you to turn them off. I don't know. It was a thing. But
after I'd gotten my third speeding ticket in like 6 months, I was sent to some sort of weird course. I don't know, I was 19. And instead of there actually being some sort of conversation, the people in the room were forced to watch a film of people having a conversation. And all the people in the film had very serious personality disorders. And I suppose we were supposed to associate ourselves with them. And it was very strange and not in any way educational. But I got to hand it to whoever produced that video, because they got it sold and it was terrible.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. By the way, someone just texted me, we don't have Jeeps, so we are hiding them around the house, the rubber duckies.
Oh. Is that like Elf on a Shelf?
Oh my God. Did you have to do that, did you?
No.
Okay.
I don't know where that tradition came from. It seemed to pop out of nowhere a couple of years ago.
Well, and I think that really benefited or was spiraled because of social media, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if other parents are doing it, or kids learn about one, like that one took off. Like, yeah, that's within the last, I think we talked about this the other day. There's two things that I think were more millennial parents than Gen X or boomers, which is, the Elf on a Shelf is millennial and younger, and then Polar Express, not a movie that I ever had. I just did not.
Did your family engage in St. Nicholas Day at all?
No, as you can see by the blank stare on my face.
Oh,
what?
Well, it's very European, and my German family did this. My grandmother was super into it, but St. Nicholas Day was sort of a preview to Christmas, and St. Nick would drop by and leave you some stuff. And it was usually, in Germany, it was like nuts and oranges and things like that. And, if it were my grandmother and it was me, it was like $100 bill. It's like, wow.
What?
Because my grandmother was crazy.
Hey, we like crazy grandma dropping $100, dropping a C note. I like that.
No complaints.
Come on now.
Yeah, but St. Nicholas Day was a big thing in my family.
We didn't have. We did like some of our traditions were, and I think this is probably just to make me stop whining about opening one present on Christmas Eve. I think that's basically parents just go, okay, fine, and it's always we made it where you could open one present, but it's pajamas. It's always pajamas.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be something like a kid has no use for, like Aqua Velva or something. Like, oh.
There, you got you one
Serves you
present.
right.
Congratulations. Two things. Jill in Evanston says that we will flash a truck when they pass, letting them know they have enough room, like a semi, to let them in.
Oh,
and I think I've done that where it's like stop and go traffic to let. If I'm not in a hurry, as often as I can, I try to let people in where nobody else will. You know, these folks that get really mad. Let's talk about traffic patterns when we go. Traffic patterns with Tom Appel when we come back, because certainly you'll be traveling over the holidays, so we'll share our thoughts on that, as well as what do you flash your high beams at folks for? Turn your light. Well, that's more of a turn your lights on and off when I'm let somebody in and they haven't. I'm like, yeah, you're safe. Go ahead, that kind of thing. I turn them on and off, not flash my high beams. I think that's only for. But even then, you should just turn your lights off for everybody. You should never flash your high beams at anybody.
Kind of a bad idea.
It is a bad idea. It is, and I'm getting, the older I get, the more sensitive I am to bright lights. More after this with Car Guy Tom. You can follow him on social media, Car Guy Tom. The Car Stuff podcast dropped yesterday, so catch up with all their conversations. And subscribe to his newsletter.
Yep. Car Stuff at consumerguide.com. You think I would remember that? It's Car Stuff at consumerguide.com.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
It is.
I get you. I don't even remember when I have a show coming up. Like usually, I'll be on my way to a show. I'm like, I probably should have told people I was doing this. More in a moment. On WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. We'll see mainly cloudy skies tonight, a low of 27 degrees with winds out of the west around 5 miles an hour. Thursday, cloudy with a little bit of light snow and a high temperature of 35 degrees with south winds at 10 to 20. Friday, snow showers likely with a high temperature of 35. And Saturday, we'll see a little bit of light snow with a high temperature of 28. Sunday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and a high temperature around 30. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 30.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
This is an important announcement for anyone who wants health insurance, even if you missed the deadline. Right now, you can get the health insurance you and your family need from top insurance providers, even if you have pre-existing conditions or no insurance at all. The Plus Benefits Health Insurance toll-free number has been extended to help anyone who wants health insurance coverage now, or if you need a better plan or a lower price. Call Plus Benefits Health Insurance now at 800-378-1388. The call is 100% free and the help is real. Call 800-378-1388. That's 800-378-1388.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it, and the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.
And coming up, I want to let you know about what's coming up tomorrow. We talked a little bit about Choose Views, and Richard's going to be talking to Mark Derrig, chair of Ohio's Summit County Democratic Party. Don't forget to tune in 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 for Choose Views. And coming up on Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive, Joan's she'll be taking your calls and talking to Eric Zorn, writer, publisher of the Picayune Sentinel, Marge Halpern, Democratic analyst and political commentator on the Mincing Rascals. Oh, it's almost like a Mincing Rascals reunion on Joan's show. That's a lot of that. A lot of mincing. And Carolyn Fiddler, creator of This Week in State House Action on Substack, live, local, and progressive weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central, right here on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal. Tom Appel, Car Guy Tom, joins me in studio. Follow him on all the social medias. Who got to 100 first? Or was it 500?
We're going to 500, and neither one of us is close. Oh, no. But I'm winning.
All right. Well, there you go. So follow him and help him win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jill Nimio, right? Is that
Jill Simonillo? My co-host.
I don't know what I just did there. I put somebody else's name or just a variation of her name. But Jill, let's just say Jill.
You did make it more commercially acceptable, I think. Simonillo.
Simonillo.
Complicated.
I know. It's a good name. It's a good name.
Australian.
Eduardo has a question from Tampa, Florida for you, Tom. Hey, Tom, Eduardo, what's on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, Patty and Tom. Is it true about the PSI being different on each side of the car? Do you want to elaborate on that?
We're talking about tire pressure. I have not seen published tire pressure ever be different from left to right side of the car. I see it all the time being different from front to rear. Mm-hmm. And that's because the weight of the vehicle typically is higher in the front of a car than the rear. So you'll see higher tire pressure up front. And people should check their owner's manual, a sticker in the door jamb, but you should get that stuff right. And just a little, we were just talking about PSAs. You want to check your tire pressure before it gets too cold.
Yes.
It's a big deal for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had 2 small, skinny nails on one of my tires this weekend and had to replace it. So
sorry.
Everything's back to normal. Yep.
Yeah, tires are expensive now.
I know. Just a little bit. Thanks, Eduardo. Hope that helps.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Take care. You too. Actually, we had a little bit of a snag. We were on our way to Mass, and we were filling up the one of the Prius tires, and the stem broke.
Oh no!
And I want to thank Firestone. By the way, Jerry, Firestone fixed that for free for us.
That's nice.
We're regular customers there. We buy our tires from there. This is not an ad for Firestone. Just happens to be in the neighborhood, and we like the guys that work there. They always do good work. So thank you.
Yeah, a good tire place will replace those stems.
Yes.
When you get a new tire, because they're rubber and they get old and they're exposed to horrible conditions.
Exactly.
Probably the worst conditions of anything on your car. So they get old, they get cracked, and they brittle. And yeah.
Well, but it also brought up another important thing, which was when we put the spare tire on, the spare tire got flat. So check your there's got to be a way to check your spare.
Someone said you should check that every season. And a lot of people don't ever do that. And even if you have what they call the donut, the undersized thing that's only supposed to go 50 miles, that's inflatable. That's inflated. So you want to check the pressure on that too.
Yeah. Steve went and got a bike pump and got that tire back up so he could get it over.
That takes forever.
It really, I felt so bad for him.
Oh.
I feel like I have, like one Christmas, like I got a bee in my bonnet that I needed like car stuff. And I feel like I bought like a one you could plug into the car. And sorry, Steve, it's probably somewhere in the basement. I should probably let you know where that is.
If you buy one of those inflators that you plug into the dashboard, into the cigarette lighter, read the reviews first. A lot of them are terrible.
Oh, gosh. All right,
so you just want to read the reviews real quick.
Be very careful.
You definitely want to go brand name.
All right. That is good to know. By the way, I have something else to give away. Oh, before I forget, I know some folks won tickets recently for Christmas Carol, and we're so grateful to the folks from the production of the Joliet Drama Guild. They're presenting A Christmas Carol today through Sunday. It's going to be your last chance performing at the Billy Limacher Bicentennial Theater. There's going to be 4 shows. Starting tomorrow through Sunday. That's Thursday through Sunday. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., Friday at 7 p.m., Saturday at 7 p.m. There's a Sunday 2 p.m. show. There's general seating. It's a classic tale that not only shows how the ghost affects Scrooge, but also the entire community. It's a non-musical version with a sprinkling of carols throughout. The show is less than 2 hours, for those of you who are worried. Sometimes folks are like, how long, they think about going to the theater. It's less than 2 hours. There is an intermission, and there's a cast and crew of nearly 30 folks, and our friend John B. Boss is starring as Ebenezer Scrooge. There'll be refreshments on site. It's a fun way to ring in your holiday. Go to the JolietDramaGuild.com. That's the JolietDramaGuild.com. Again, that's starting tomorrow. Congratulations, you guys, on the opening tomorrow.
It is interesting how many people care how long entertainment is now.
I'll tell you. Well, I do care if it's too long.
My wife will not watch a movie that's more than 2 hours long.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because we sort of have a unique situation with when Declan will start falling asleep. So now I almost feel like there's some movies we've been watching like it's a TV series, like in half-hour chunks. I'm just like, we're going to have to come back to this. Yeah.
Back when Netflix used to mail you discs. Yeah, my wife and I tried to watch Gone with the Wind. And we came on 2 discs, and we basically didn't watch anything because we just kept looking at it. Dauntingly, it's 4 hours, and it's like, we're never doing this. We just sent them back.
Have you still not seen it?
I've never seen Gone with the Wind.
I struggle with this. I struggle with it because there's so much that it's not. I mean, it's such a love story to antebellum and the slavery South and things like that. It's a little but I haven't seen it probably. Gosh, I haven't seen it probably in 20 years. But as a kid, so my studies as an undergrad, like I studied women of the antebellum South because I was fascinated by this idea that like they put these white women on this pillar, but yet when the men left, like the women had to work the land. I mean, that actually is an element of Gone with the Wind, where Scarlett O'Hara, is sort of that she has to do work. She has to kind of get into the mud and try to save the plantation. But so my work was on and also the idea of like conservatives who want to preserve this way of life and yet struggle with the idea. Okay, I probably shouldn't go into the whole thing, but they created the system of welfare because there were so many men that were deserting the Confederate lines on the front to come back and try to save their property and make sure that they had a home to come back to, because their wives were like, get your ass home, we're going to lose the farm. So they started like they started like welfare for them. And so I actually did all this research on how much it was. I'm a dork for stuff like that.
Oh, what happened to your paper?
It's actually cited in some folks' book. I actually
excellent.
Before I was 21, I was published in the Encyclopedia of the Confederacy. I believe it's called "The Dear Ones at Home" was the name of it was my honors thesis in my senior year. Let me see if I can find it. I can't remember the name of it. I used to be able to Google it, and I'd be like, just to remind myself I used to do. Confederacy, yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, I like Googled one time and someone cited me in their work, so it was just sort of interesting. I'll look it up in a little bit. King Cotton. I also am published in King Cotton, which was
cool.
The efforts to borrow money from France with cotton as sort of the basis for making the It's sort of funny how I did all these things. I think I have it. Emancipation, Race, and Society. The Problem of Relief for the Families. Oh, it's so funny.
Wow.
Yeah. Hold on a second. That's what I...
Where did you find it?
I Googled my name. My name is...
okay.
My name is Patricia Bonin. It's so funny. The Problem of Relief for the Families of Confederate Soldiers in South Carolina, 1994. Patricia Dora Bonin. Emancipation, Race, and Society. Yeah. And then I was like, this is boring. I want to be a stand-up comic. Yeah, I'm cited, and then people cite my research in some of their books and things like that. It's just sort of weird because there wasn't a lot of. This was like the upswing of women's history in the 1990s when people were kind of focused on that kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. I had a friend who was very conservative who told me if you weren't a white male, your place in history just wasn't worth studying.
Wow,
so that's kind of how I ended up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. At any rate, we were going to talk about traffic patterns and so are you traveling at all for the holidays?
I am not. My daughter's working that day, so we're sticking real close.
Okay.
So we're just going to my mother's house, and my daughter will come over.
Yeah.
When she's done with work.
And so one of the things, I used to be of the mind that when a lane is being eliminated, right, when you have to merge because of traffic or whatever, that you should get over. I used to be of the mind, get over sooner, right? And if people were trying to like barrel down that empty lane, I would I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. I would like move over and make it impossible for them to go around me, right? And then I
have seen truckers do that very aggressively.
Yes. But then I was going to Great America, or I was going past Gurnee, and all of a sudden there was all this traffic, and everybody they were getting off at whatever that is, Grand.
Yeah.
So there was like this long line to get off there, but the thing was, like, I don't think people realized there were two lanes that you could use to get off at that exit, right? But everyone just sort of goes, I should get over now. And so I realized that there's a lot of times in traffic where people get over too soon. They don't use, for me, it's about using all available real estate. And there's actually studies that if you use the zipper merge traffic, there would be a better flow of traffic, meaning one car, like as you get closer to where the lane ends, you just keep giving each person, and there are a lot of people that will not let you in. And my question about that is, why would you once you've ticked me off, why would you then want me right behind you? Right? I mean, like, it just seems like a dicey...
That's a great question.
Like, this seems unfortunate for you. Like, not that I want to hit you, but maybe I could get good insurance.
There was a lot of studies that came out it was probably a decade ago or so, that determined that traffic jams, and this research happened years and years before that as well, but it just sort of reaffirmed that traffic jams are largely psychological. Yeah. People are uncomfortable with the situation, or they want to hurry up, and their efforts to hurry up are just screwing with everything. Yeah. You kind of got to know your place. But this was part of the argument for moving ahead with autonomous vehicles.
Oh, God.
A thing which seems further and further from reality as we move forward. I don't know if you know this, but General Motors dropped their Cruise division.
Really?
It was up there with Waymo and Zoox and Tesla, but they've killed that division. They're going to fold it back into the company, but it doesn't look like they're working on a robo-taxi anymore. But the theory was that if vehicles were autonomous, traffic jams would largely go away, because everyone would be doing things perfectly, theoretically perfectly, and zipper merging would be perfect. And
Right, because people don't, that's the thing, that part is definitely psychological. And it does look as though, when someone just doesn't merge right away or get over right away, that they're just being a jerk and like trying to race it to the front of the line. Whereas if you had like two lanes going that in that direction and then zipper merge at the end, it actually would help with the flow of traffic.
You know what is surprisingly effective, and I'm surprised it doesn't cause more accidents, is the new center lane that we're seeing. Whenever the road is redesigned or redone or updated, or whenever there's construction on a road, they add a center lane between the two lanes going one direction and to the other, so there's a turning lane.
Like here on Milwaukee Avenue.
Yes, exactly.
At some spots we have a pedestrian island, which
I am sort of baffled by how effective that is, and the fact that people from other directions don't slam into each other more. It seems like you would go into that lane and someone else would. And if you're not using your signal, bad.
Well, the other thing is, I think one of the reasons they had to put these islands in, these pedestrian islands and like crosswalks, the grocery store over here, especially at the holidays, people would park there because they would park in the middle of Milwaukee Avenue to run in and get their stuff from Andy's. And I'm like, are you kidding me with this? Oh my God. By the way, Jill in Evanston says, I've never seen the whole Gone with the Wind, just my favorite comedy sketch with Carol Burnett, of course. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone knows it. Yeah.
I saw it in a window.
Yeah, that's killer.
And I had to have it. It's fantastic. All right, let's give away, all right, Lady B, let's pick another number for giving away our Fry the Coop $25 gift card. What number caller should we be? It's up to you. Let's pick a number from 1 to 5. What do you want to do this time? It's a lot of pressure. Number 3, caller number 3, 773-763-9278. We're giving away a $25 gift. This is so funny. This is misprinted. $25 gift card for Fry the Coop. Fry the Coop is a destination for hot chicken in Chicagoland, giving a Southern original, a Midwest touch, whether you want heat or no heat, featuring chicken sandwiches, tenders, chicken, and waffles. Oh, I love the waffles. And nuggets. Now that's new, by the way. The nuggets are new. All delivering happiness in each crunchy bite, proudly not using seed oils. They are frying all their menu items in 100% beef tallow. Stop by Fry the Coop today at one of its many locations. There's one in Oak Lawn, Chicago, Elmhurst, Darien, Prospect Heights, Tinley Park, and Bolingbrook. You can have no heat, mild, medium, hot, or crazy insanity. That's for other people, not for me. I used to be crazy insanity girl. I don't do that anymore. And to celebrate the holidays, Fry the Coop has given us the opportunity to gift you with $25 gift cards as a little gift, as our little gift to you. Contest running on WCPT 820 are open to listeners 18 or older and residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. 1 entry per person, 1 winner per household. Void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days. Complete rules are available on our website at WCPT820.com and click on the contest tab. More after this with Tom Appel. Car Guy Tom. Check out his podcast, his Car Stuff podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. It dropped yesterday. More in a moment.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
She was 5.
I saw her at 73.
Nobody else had concerns.
She wasn't participating and slept mostly.
Her mom listened to her gut and brought her in.
They assumed the reason was her dementia.
Mom was right. Her daughter couldn't hear high frequencies.
Instead, it was a profound hearing loss.
And after helping her, educationally, she just took off.
She's participating in life again.
Find an ASHA certified audiologist today at asha.org/public.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
To Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.
We are winding down our show. We're so happy that you joined us on this drive home, and it's appropriate that we have Car Guy Tom. Find Car Stuff Podcast wherever you find your podcasts. And Matt just popped in his head and talked about Gone with the Wind. Are you less likely, or doesn't change the potential of you guys watching Gone with the Wind? I would say break it up. There should be. I'm sure you can Google like the natural place to take a break. I'm going to Google that for you. Go ahead.
My daughter and I have taken an interest in seeing films we should see.
Okay.
And so ruining the ending wouldn't stop me from seeing
Sorry about that, yes.
No. It's just making time.
I ruined the ending of Gone with the Wind off the air, by the way. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I forced my daughter to watch things she really didn't want to watch, like Metropolis, and which, what a fantastic movie that is. But yeah, I will see anything just because I feel like I need to see it.
What are some of the other movies that you feel that you need to see?
The Third Man.
Okay.
Was that Orson Welles?
It is Orson Welles.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Not only is that a great movie, it's beautiful to watch. Mm-hmm. I forgot what European city. Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah, that is truly film noir.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And Double Indemnity was a movie.
Also a great movie with Barbara Stanwyck.
Who knew? Because I knew Barbara Stanwyck from The Big Valley. She was she was this wonderful, big-hearted woman. So to know that she's this sleazy murderer.
Oh, she was a tremendous actress. I'm a big fan of Barbara Stanwyck.
Yeah, but her being evil just makes her hotter, in my opinion.
I would say Meet John Doe. Is that right? That's Meet John Doe is Barbara Stanwyck and Gary Cooper.
I don't even know that movie.
It is a Frank Capra movie, actually.
Oh.
It's a darker one, but I love Meet John Doe. It's Barbara Stanwyck and Gary Cooper. I mean, come on. Come on, you gotta see it. It's a good holiday. It is actually like a New Year's. It happens like the climax is on New Year's Eve as the clock strikes midnight.
Also, my birthday movie is coming up, and that's where the family has to watch a movie I pick.
Okay.
Although Gone with the Wind's not going to work for that.
No, I don't think you want to do 4 hours. I was trying to find the best place to pause intermission. The Gone with the Wind, Hollywood halftime. Where is the intermission? I'll find that for you. But The Right Stuff I remember having an intermission. I saw that in the theater. That's a long movie too.
Where did I see that? I probably saw it on VHS.
I saw it at the Pickwick Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, right there in Park Ridge.
Which was supposed to go away, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's still a movie theater.
Thank God.
Thankfully, the folks that own the Copernicus Center, they also, I think the plan is to also make it a live entertainment venue in addition to being a movie theater.
That's great. Just preserve the architecture.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. There's got to be a way. The best place to take an intermission in Gone with the Wind is around the midpoint of the typically after the Battle of Atlanta scene. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think because she has to go live in Atlanta briefly, and so and there's. I love the behind the scenes information about Gone with the Wind. There's a scene where she and Clark Gable, where Vivien Leigh and Clark Gable are dancing, and they're actually like on moving planks to simulate dancing because. Just for the sake of filmmaking at the time. Yeah. It's kind of cool. The whole thing about behind Gone with the Wind is fascinating. How long it took them to cast. Have you ever heard these stories about Betty Davis wanted it? Betty Davis.
I don't know any of this.
I am dorking out completely, folks. Strap yourselves in for the dork out session of the show. she desperately wanted to be Scarlett O'Hara, so because she didn't get cast, she still wanted like an antebellum movie. So there's a movie called Jezebel that's fantastic, a really good Betty Davis movie. So yeah, cool. And even Lucille Ball auditioned for.
I think I knew that.
Yeah,
I think I knew that.
I will say Vivien Leigh, spectacular. I mean, I'll just never like just for the imagery, the filmmaking, the feat that they took on to make this as one of the early color films too. You know, like that and Wizard of Oz, I believe, came out in the same year, 1939. I want to say, I could be wrong. I'm always open to being wrong, folks. You know that, and I'm often wrong. I have no problem with that. So tell me some other movies that you've put on your list of like Ordinary People is a great drama.
Haven't seen that.
It's a great movie. Oh my God.
Haven't seen that. But we did watch a lot of black and white and noir stuff. My daughter did not anticipate liking Casablanca, and like a week later we watched it a second time.
Oh, wow.
So that's good, because what a script. Holy cow.
It's a great script. I do have a thing where I just am not a fan. Like, I've never understood the lure, and it's mostly because he played he played a bad guy in a lot of Jimmy Cagney movies. Humphrey Bogart, I just never I love the movies he's in, like even Sabrina and The Maltese Falcon and all these. But I'm like, this guy.
Oh, see, I think he's fantastic. I will watch anything he's in.
I just don't find him physically appealing. Like, he's just not, you know what I mean? He's not classically, for me, he's just not a handsome guy.
He's just like this little guy that looks like cigarette smoke, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's a great actor. But again, as a kid, I watched it. I was drawn to Jimmy Cagney movies, which Angels with Dirty Faces is my favorite on that front.
I haven't seen that. You know, we're talking about Bogart, though, and great scenes. The scene in Maltese Falcon, where Peter Lorre comes to engage him for the first time, is one of the best acted, funniest bits in the whole world, where Peter Lorre turns his back on him and he pulls out a gun and like, oh, what is happening here? and finally, Peter Lorre gets his gun back and holds it on Bogart again, and he's just like, whatever, just do whatever you want.
Oh, my God. You know, it's one of the wildest movies. It's such a strange storyline is Arsenic and Old Lace. And I believe, Peter Lorre's also in that movie. Have you seen Arsenic and Old Lace?
I have, and I'm trying to remember where Peter Lorre was.
Oh, he's one of the bad guys that comes in with the scary face guy. Yeah, it was really, really disagree. But it's such a dark storyline. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie.
Yeah, it is super crazy. At any rate, I also love, at the holidays, I love Fred Astaire movies, like for New Year's.
I have seen almost none of those.
Almost none? That would be none.
Yeah.
I think Swing Time is kind of nice because there's a couple that are pretty much the same storyline. It's just about the dancing.
Yeah. I haven't seen Holiday Inn either, so...
Okay, so caveat to that, great movie, except for the very racist blackface performance by someone just texted dork. I am a dork. I gleefully embrace my dorkness. Patty, you just reminded me of a traffic tip ad Gary Owens used to do with the merging lanes, where one guy tries to beg his way up front. He said, I hope nobody lets you in and you're stuck there a long time. After all, mister, it's the highway, not your way. And on that note, fair enough. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Tom, where can folks sign up for your newsletter, my friend?
Just send me an email at carstuff@consumerguide.com. It's just one email a week.
Excellent. Yep. And follow him so get on Blue Sky and follow him there so he can beat Jill.
Yep.
And find Car Stuff podcast wherever you find your podcasts. And we have Randy Rhodes up next. Coming up tomorrow, I believe, I probably should check in with the folks I asked. Sometimes I say, hey, you want to come on the show next week? And then I forget to confirm with them. So I believe Adam Selzer will be in studio with us tomorrow. Dan Schaefer filling in for me. Dan Schaefer of the Politini Dan Schaefers will be filling in for me on Friday. So I hope you'll tune in and enjoy that show as well. And Randy Rhodes is up next, followed by Matt McNeil. Lady B, have a wonderful evening. Everyone be safe. Take care. Talk to you later.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. In the heart of World War II, while the skies rumble with the roar of combat, a groundbreaking squad of pilots emerged from the segregated South, the Tuskegee Airmen, an elite group